Good times right here. I'm going to do this different because usually I would share this and then it would get taken down. This is too important. This is too insane to do it. So bear with me while I put my phone somewhere comfortable because I gotta sit down with this. This is crazy. This is published the 3rd of December 2020. This is just a few days ago. I guess it's 21 days ago. Just want you to take a look at this title. Just let that really permeate with you for a second while I take a hit. So I'm going to get really stoned for this. Hold on. Whew. Okay. Are you guys ready? I hope you're ready because I'm ready. Alright. Chinese agents have stepped up their efforts to influence President-elect Joe Biden's incoming administration, a U.S. intelligence official has said. William Ivanina from the U.S. Office of the Director of National Intelligence said the Chinese were also focusing on people close to Mr. Biden's team. Mr. Evanina said it was an influence campaign on steroids. Separately, a Justice Department official said more than 1,000 suspected Chinese agents had fled the U.S. I wonder why. In Wednesday's virtual discussion at the Aspen Institute think tank, Mr. Ivanina, chief of the Director of National Intelligence Counterintelligence Branch, said China had been attempting to meddle in the U.S. efforts to develop a coronavirus vaccine in recent American elections. He continued, "We've also seen an uptick, which is planned and what we predicted, that China would now re-vector their influence campaigns to the new Biden administration." When I say that malign foreign influence, that diplomatic influence plus or on steroids, we're starting to see the play across the country to not only the folks starting in the new administration, but those who are around those folks in the new administration. So that's one area we're going to be very keen on making sure the new administration understands that influence, what it looks like, what it tastes like, what it feels like when you see it. Both Mr. Biden and President Donald Trump traded bitter accusations during the recent White House campaign of being influenced by Beijing. Mr. Trump focused on business dealings by his rival's son Hunter Biden in China, while Democratic candidate highlighted Mr. Trump's Chinese bank account. What was Hunter Biden doing in Ukraine and China? During the same think tank discussion on Wednesday, John Demers, chief of the Justice Department National Security Division, said hundreds of Chinese researchers with their ties to the country's military had been identified by FBI investigators over the summer. Mr. Demers said the inquiry began when the U.S. authorities arrested 5 or 6 Chinese researchers who had hidden their affiliation with the People's Liberation Army, the PLA. Those 5 or 6 arrests were just the tip of the iceberg, and honestly, the size of an iceberg was one that I don't know that we or the other folks realized how large it was. He told the discussion that after the FBI conducted dozens of interviews with other individuals, more than 1,000 PLA-affiliated Chinese researchers left the country. Mr. Demers said only the Chinese have the resources and ability and will to conduct such alleged political and economic espionage and other malign activity. He told the discussion these researchers were in addition to a group of 1,000 Chinese students and researchers whose visas were revoked by the U.S. back in September. So the U.S. State Department said back then it would only welcome Chinese students who do not further the Chinese Communist Party's goals of military dominance. In July, the State Department also closed China's consulate in Houston, Texas, accusing Beijing of stealing intellectual property. Beijing hit back by accusing the U.S. of racial discrimination, but Mr. Demers denied on Wednesday that the American authorities were racially profiling Chinese students. Sino-U.S. relations have hit rock bottom after outgoing President Trump's disputes with Beijing over issues ranging from trade to Hong Kong to the pandemic. So that was it, and I just find that really scary because now there's Chinese troops. It is documented as of the 20th of this month, so just a few days ago, There are Chinese military forming at the borders of at the borders of Canada and Mexico. And they're stationed there, and I don't know when they're going to come in. They're going to come in, though, and it's going to be here in just a couple days. Careful who you spread this to. Careful who you share this to, because if the wrong hands get this, they could make a move quicker. I don't know what to do. Your thoughts?